Welcome back to ComSci 127 Lab. In the previous topics, we've been talking about MariaDB and MySQL. In this week's topic, we will introduce you with other DBMS such as CouchDB, a NoSQL database, and Postgres, which is an open source object relational database. In this video, we will focus on Postgres. So to set up Postgres, open your web browser, download the installer from the official site, select your operating system, and proceed with the installation. Assuming that you have installed Postgres, go ahead and open your terminal. Similar to MariaDB, for this course, we will interact with our DBMS using the command line. Before diving to crude operations, let's first have basic shell commands. To list all the database in Postgres, we use \l. Here we see the default databases that comes pre-installed, and it's pretty descriptive than that in MariaDB command line results. Let's go ahead and create our own database. The command is create database and the name of the database. Do not forget to include semicolon. We can also do it in small case, it doesn't matter, but the more usual convention is to capitalize commands. To use a database, or more specifically in Postgres, to connect to a database, we use the command \c and the name of the database. Now that we're connected in the database, let's try to create a table. To do that, I will use create table. I will create a table for student. A student has a column student number, which is an integer. There are different ways to denote a column or multiple columns as primary key through adding a constraint, which you can also see in our handout. But the simplest way is to just add a primary key here. A student also has a name, which is a varchar of length 40. So we just created a table. To display all the tables in our ComSci 127 database, we use \dt. As of now, we only have one table, the one we just created. To view the structure of our table, we can use the command \d and the name of the table to describe. Here, for table student, we have two columns. Each column is described by its name, type, the one we specified earlier, collation, nullable. As you may see, the student number by default cannot be null, since we specified this column as the primary key. We also have the default value, which we did not specify. For the constraints we specified earlier, we have it here below, describing that student number is a primary key. Let's try to insert a data. Similarly, we use insert into the name of the table, then we specify the column names. We have name and student number. Values, I will try to put 1 and the student number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The order of the values should match the order of the columns. We can also insert without specifying the column names, but the values should be ordered similarly on how the tables was constructed. So we specify the student number first, then followed by the name. I personally prefer to specify the column names just to be sure. Next, let's try to select some values. Similarly, we use select asterisk to select all the column names, and then the keyword from, and then the name of the table. Let's try to update some values. We use the keyword update, the name of the table, and then set. Let's set the name of one to Jose. Now let's print the content of the table again. So we just updated one row. To delete values, we use delete from and then the table name. And then we can put here a where statement, where student number is greater than 12344. As you may see, most likely all the commands you learned from MariaDB would also work in Postgres. You just have to cross-check the syntax to use. To drop a table in the Postgres, we use drop table student. And similarly, we can also drop a database using the command drop database and then the name of the database, CMSC127. This is only a brief introduction to Postgres, but I hope you gained some ideas on how other DBMS looks like.